via the upper concourse by exiting the arena at the top of the section. Ushers and attendants will be stationed at the top of each section for further instructions to the nearest exit. If at any time while you are here you need assistance, please ask your nearest attendant. Again, welcome to the Curtis Colwell Center.
Hello, and my name is Steven Rodriguez, and I am the 2021 National Honor Society President. I would like to welcome you to the Lakeview Centennial High School graduation ceremony. My classmates and I are thrilled that you're joining us to help celebrate the accomplishments of our 12-year educational journey. As a courtesy to my fellow graduates, I ask that you remain respectful, keeping applause and cheers short while we cross the stage so family and friends will hear each of our names called as we receive our diplomas. Again, thank you for being here and helping us make this a day we will all remember. Enjoy the ceremony. May we please rise for the playing of the national anthem, sung by Lakeview's choir president Trinity Massengale and vice president Emily Ruiz.
So proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and the class of 2021. I am Abigail Martins, and it has been my honor and privilege to serve as your Student Council President. At this time, we'd ask that all gentlemen remove your non-religious headgear, and everyone please stand with me for the U.S. and Texas pledges. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now for the Texas Pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. Please be seated. At this time, I would like to welcome your senior class president, Abibatu Karoma.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and the class. Sorry. Good evening, everyone. Before we continue on, please help me welcome our Garland Independent School District trustees that have joined us today. Mr. Jamie Miller, President, Mr. Johnny Beach, Miss Daphne Stanley, and Mr. Robert Selders Jr., Assistant Secretary, who will be accepting the class on behalf of the Board of Trustees. We offer a special welcome to GISD Superintendent Dr. Ricardo Lopez and the members of the Superintendent Roundtable, Chief Leadership Officer Dr. Suzanne Russell, Chief Financial Officer Dr. Brent Ringo, and GISD General Counsel Mrs. Lisa Ray. I would like to extend a warm welcome to the class of 2021's family and friends who have joined us in person and online to celebrate the graduates. We are eternally grateful that you could be here with us on this important day. I want to thank you, our teachers, and staff for supporting us throughout our high school career. I also want to say a very special thank you to my own family for putting up with my hectic schedule and making sure I had the resources to make it on the stage today. My fellow officers and sponsors, Ideli, Sammy, Amy, Christian, Ms. Thompson, Ms. Berry, and Ms. Jones, thank you so very much for representing this class with me. As we end our senior year, I would like y'all to look at the people around you. Maybe you met them sitting in your first high school class, or maybe you joined the same organization. You might have even been at the same room at our somewhat successful fish camp. No matter the circumstance, I want you to hold on to the memories you share, look back on every ounce of joy and every second of sadness, and cherish the friends you made along the way. At this time, I would like to ask everyone to rise for a patriot pause in honor of our late classmate and friend, Trevor Scott. I would like to give my deepest condolences to Trevor's family. I know how much I miss him, and I can't imagine the pain you must be in. We will always carry him in our hearts. Please be seated. Before you walk the stage today, I would like to remind y'all that you have persevered. As freshmen, I don't think any one of us could have imagined high school going like this, but through every uncertainty, you have found a way to flourish. Through a pandemic, through a snowstorm, through fights for social justice and change, you have remained resilient. May this moment remind you that you have the strength and courage to succeed. You have all grown into such wonderful people, and I will miss walking the halls with you. As you walk off the stage and on to the next phase in your life, remember all the lessons you've learned and all the bonds you've built at this school. It's been a long 4 years, but congratulations, you guys. We finally made it. Now, please welcome our superintendent, Dr. Ricardo Lopez.
Well, good afternoon, graduates, class of 2021. Parents, isn't this a beautiful sight to see? Let's give them a round of applause. You know, I truly love to brag about the GISD because it's parents like you community members like you that make us special. Today we're celebrating something that seemed so far-fetched just a year ago. A year ago, pandemic hit. These students have been under the pandemic for the past 15 months and are here to graduate in the Curtis Colwell Center, in person, with their families in attendance. You all, this is just a dream come true. Let's give these graduates one more round of applause. You know, today we're celebrating a lot of big things that happen in Lakeview. You see, in the midst of this pandemic, before we get started with everything, we have to recognize that a record was set. This graduating class has a record amount of students that have an associate's degree, the most in Lakeview history. Talk about no excuses, right? It's a great reminder that to get here, we don't get here alone, students. It takes an entire village. Your loved ones, your teachers, your friends. You surround yourself with the right network, anything is possible. You are here because of your hard work. You are here because your teachers sacrifice. You are here because your administrators' relentless pursuit to have you graduate. You see, during this time, when we started doing all these crazy ideas and people were wondering, for high school, our #1 goal was your class to get through. What we did was we measured, since March, what we tried to model through a prior pandemic called the Spanish flu, 100 years ago. We learned that it would last about a year and a half. We learned that there's going to be spikes and setbacks and all of these things. And we tried to plan it with the goal to have as many graduates here as possible. Parents, you read in the headlines, many school districts yearning, worried that they're not going to have their graduates graduate. We never lost focus on these students, and we never lost focus on what it meant to have this day. So let's give your fearless leader, Maritza Bailey, a big round of applause for tonight's achievements. You see, every success story is rooted in obstacles we face when failures and things don't go as planned. Those are the greatest success stories of all time. And today is living proof that we are living amongst them. So in the middle of a pandemic, we have the most amount of associate's degrees ever administered in Lakeview's collegiate history. But there's even something greater about that. In fact, I want you to think about this. When people were worried about having people graduate today, of the seniors that are supposed to graduate today, 97% are graduating today. Once again, a testament to the spirit of Lakeview. That does not happen by accident. 97% of the seniors are graduating today on what shouldn't have been even close to that. But there's something even more spectacular. You just heard. We had what? The most amount of collegiate graduates. Now we have this miraculous amount of students walking the stage. But it goes one step further because the state now measures us on called college, career, military readiness. It's not anymore just about the amount of kids that are graduating, but how many are graduating that are ready for life, college, and whatever is out there. They have high standards. There's new measures being taken. And if we got a rating today for Lakeview, they would get a 91% rating, which is an A, on college, career, military readiness for these graduates. So they brought another A to Lakeview. Isn't that miraculous? So when we face challenges, you all, we know what we're made of. But you guys got hit with a snowstorm. You got hit with COVID. And we have some other kids that I want to honor that have been hit with other things that happen in life. When I honor these kids, please, parents, understand they gave us permission to talk about their story. And sometimes it's hard for us to fathom what these kids go through. When I call your name, please stand to be recognized so I can tell your story. Alyssa Martinez. Alyssa found out the hard way when the one person that gives you life, love, happiness, and true meaning of moving on passed away. That was her grandfather. Her grandfather was her hero and always made a point to tell her, "I'm proud of you." When he passed, it really hurt her hard and it devastated her to the point where she felt like giving everything up. But in true GISD fashion, this beautiful school rallied around her, had her believe in herself, and they reminded her that life is worth fighting for despite any obstacles that she is facing, that her future is bright, and by fighting, her grandfather would be very proud of her. She picked up the pieces and finished strong, and this lady is going to focus on a degree in marine biology at Texas A&M Galveston. Your grandfather's spirit is here tonight with you, and he will always be with you, and know that you are loved. Thank you, Alyssa. Aiden Kearney. Where's Aiden? Aiden Kearney? Kearney. Okay, Aiden comes, so we'll go ahead and just recognize Aiden. Let's give Aiden a round of applause. And finally, Amaya Upshaw. There we go. How are you? So Amaya is a wonderfully determined young lady whose light shines bright at Lakeview. She has a beautiful, loving spirit. She overcame obstacles that would challenge the faint or less determined. You see, at a young age, she's been in foster care and had to travel through multiple foster care placements. She has attended 10 schools, high schools, across the large terrain of Texas. She has come from what is deemed behind in her studies and is now ahead of schedule. Despite the challenges, she is here today, a successful high school graduate who has aspirations of joining the Navy, but most importantly, she seeks to share her story and triumphs with other students in motivating to move across any obstacle you may have. You go, girl. Imagine going through 10 high schools and still making it through. You inspire me. So graduates, overcoming these odds, I hope inspire you because they do get me up every day to not have an excuse to do what's best. Thank you to these special graduates for allowing me to share their stories. And when you encounter setbacks or people who tell you something that can be done, you know what? Know you're going to rise above. You're going to overcome. You are a Lakeview Centennial patriot. Nothing will stop you. You know, Denzel Washington, in my day, he had a lot of swag, y'all. So he's one of my favorite actors, but he says never be discouraged, never look back, give everything you got, and when you fall throughout life, because that happens, fall forward. Just remember, Lakeview Patriots, you're loved, you're supported, and always charge on. Thank you.
Good evening, GISD School Board of Trustees, Dr. Lopez, distinguished guests, parents, family, and the Lakeview Centennial College and Career Magnet Class of 2021. Each year for many months, I think about what I will say to the graduating class, and I talk to colleagues and friends about my thoughts and the words of wisdom I should share. My first thoughts for this year were, there are no words for what you have experienced and endured during your senior year. You all have lived what will be in your children's history books, and you all will be able to say, I remember when I was a senior. You will be just like all of us who have lived through historical moments and can tell you exactly where we were and what we were doing. Right now, you may all be thinking of everything that didn't happen how it should have. As time continues, you will remember all that did happen and how you persevered. In the past year, what I have learned and determined is that life has been, is, and will always be uncertain. Seniors, how you handle, tackle, and seize the uncertainties in life is what will determine your future successes. My words of wisdom for you are the following. Number one, set goals. Set small goals, set big goals. And when you achieve your goals, set new ones for the rest of your life. To control what you can control. We have all learned that much of life is out of control, so don't waste your time focusing on that which you cannot control. Instead, focus on what you can and what will lead you to meet your goals. Number three, be thankful, kind, and happy. Life will be full of ups and downs, positives and negatives. Be thankful for what you have and what you accomplish. Always be kind to everyone you encounter and choose to be happy, as there is already too much negativity in the world. 4, work hard to make all your dreams come true. I am living proof, that hard work and determination will get you where you want to be. There is nothing better than living your dream each and every day. And finally, life is shorter than you think. Never miss a chance to say I love you to those who matter. Do not take anything for granted. Spend time with all of your family and friends and take advantage of every opportunity, whether that be school, career, or military. Class of 2021, I have no doubt that as you embark on this next phase of your life, you have been prepared and given the tools you need for a successful journey. Seniors, I want to let you know you completely made my year with all the hello, Miss Baileys, when you saw me in the halls and outside of school. Every email asking me questions and for help, seeing you participate in the school activities that could happen, hearing about your accomplishments and the many positive comments and acts of kindness that you had this year. Class of 2021, take all that you have learned from your parents, your teachers, your friends, and all of those around you, and use it to guide you throughout life. And seniors, class of 2021, always remember, we are LC. Please welcome your class of 2021 Salutatorian, Alex Pham.
Ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, teachers, and especially you, graduates, the class of 2021, welcome. It's been a wild ride these past 4 years. 4 really long years. It was just like yesterday when we were just little fishies as we entered the lake we call high school. It was a new experience for all of us. We swam through the halls not knowing where to go, not knowing what to expect, and not knowing what to do. Each passing year is presenting us with their challenges. We were put through our highs and our lows, but look at where we are now, bigger and fatter fishes, who are about to enter the ocean that we call life. But before we make the jump, I'd like to reflect on our journey, because we didn't make it here alone. We learned from some of the greatest teachers who we'll always remember, met some of our closest friends, and created numerous treasured memories with those around us. Even though it may have seemed like a sluggish journey when we're cruising through it, It happened in the blink of an eye. From competitions, after-school projects, to games, we went to places we wouldn't have imagined. Within those moments, we did many things, no matter whether it be learning how to work together to win something, meeting your best friend for the first time, or going on an adventure that's held close to your heart. You made it here. And with that, remember to hold on to those memories, because they will seem like a small pebble on the side of the road as we close this chapter of our lives. So in order to remember that small pebble, I'd like to say thank you to all my friends, family, especially my parents, and those around me for being a part of my life. Because though it may seem like a small encounter that we met and talked, joked and laughed, remembered and cried, it meant the world to me. With that, I consider you a part of me now, and I'll hold on to this pebble into the future. Although this may seem sentimental and all, and some of you may want to extend the time we have with each other, we are ready to jump into that ocean of life. And I wish each of you the best of luck. Lastly, I'd like to advise my fellow graduates to live boldly. Be bold in who you are, be bold in what you do, and be bold in admitting your mistakes, because that's a part of life. Take chances and accomplish much. Thank you. And now, please welcome Anthony Tran, Lakeview Centennial, class of 2020, valedictorian.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Before I start, I would like to give special thanks to all the people who got me to where I am today. From my parents who have raised me since I was a little kid, to my friends who have kept me company and supported me through troubled times, and to my teachers, mentors, and coaches who have guided me to the right path. Thank you. Thank you for all the things you have done and all the things you will do, not just for me, but for the future generations who will walk this stage. Now back to the event of this evening. Graduation is a turning point of our lives. Moving from high school, each of us will move on to the next chapter of a book that is life. Whether it be joining the workforce, going to college, or starting a business, each of these was once our childhood dreams, but by the end of today, they will become a reality. However, no matter what path you choose, we must remember where we have started. Before we even reached this stage, we were once freshmen entering high school. At that time, the idea of being a senior and graduating was far-fetched. We were thrown into a bigger environment with new faces everywhere around us. Classes became harder and responsibilities became heavier. Some of us even cried from the dreaded course of human geography. Then we became sophomores. We started to settle with new friend groups, but the challenge wasn't over. As if classes weren't enough, extracurriculars and jobs became a factor. The horror of all-nighters became true. Next, we were juniors. College admissions plagued our minds as we began preparing for the SATs, ACTs, TSIs, and every other letter in the alphabet. Among these tests, we had to juggle the responsibilities from the prior years. However, in spite of all these challenges, even if our past self wouldn't believe it, we made it. Looking back, overcoming high school seemed like a monumental task. However, the thousands of steps that we took to overcome that task is what made high school memorable. It isn't that we became seniors that made high school so influential in our lives, but the different paths that everyone took to become a senior. As a result, I would like to say that life is about the journey, and to embark in our journey, we must take the first step. It doesn't matter if your goal is to be a millionaire, start a family, or write a book. It may all sound hard now, but just remember, you already did what you thought was impossible. And so, I invite each of you to take your first step in your new journey. Do something today that you have always thought that you couldn't. Ask someone out. Apply for that interview. Paint your first work of art. It doesn't matter how young or old you are. It doesn't matter if you are rich or poor. What matters is if you are willing to take the first step. Happy graduation, class of 2021. Thank you.
And now, class of 2021, please rise. Dr. Lopez, and Mr. Selders, on behalf of the administration and faculty of Lakeview Centennial High School, it is with great pride that I certify that these students have completed the course requirements for graduation as set forth by the Texas Education Agency and the Board of Trustees of the Garland Independent School District. At this time, I recommend the class of 2021 for graduation.
Thank you, Ms. Bailey. Ladies and gentlemen, graduates, we're here on this beautiful day in this amazing facility before this expectant crowd to celebrate an incredible moment in time, a moment of resiliency, of tenacity, of hope. I am honored to be standing before this remarkable group of scholars, dreamers, and achievers. Congratulations to you all for sure, but also to your parents, your teachers, and the administrators who have guided you through these most important years. Now, I don't have to remind you of what you just lived through or what you just sacrificed. Yours was the first class to experience their entire senior year in the middle of a global pandemic. You finished high school while igniting a movement that has challenged our country to confront important questions about equity, inclusion, and justice for all. And you did so with tremendous courage and compassion. I'm inspired by the way your generation has risen to this challenge, and it gives me so much hope for the future. Throughout this year, we've been awed by your capacity for empathy for others across diverse backgrounds and experiences, without hesitation and without judgment. So I asked Ms. Bailey, tell me what's special about your class. She had a lot to tell. She shared with me how she watched as you remained patient, proactive, and positive as the campus adapted to COVID-19. She told me how accepting you've been not only of these changing circumstances, but of each other, regardless of your differences. She also shared how moved she was by the way your class came together to support and embrace some of your classmates who struggled, and how that level of care brought you all closer together. This shows an incredible amount of emotional intelligence, which is just as important as your academic achievements. While coming together as a community, you've also continued to maintain your individual identities as independent thinkers. Just like those brave patriots of 1776 whose name you share, ready to challenge what others may accept as given. I know this is a time for joy, for setting aside obligations. Release for a moment the weight as well as the possibilities of the future before you. But as you rightfully celebrate your achievement today, remember this: the change that you want to see in your community, your country, and your world starts with you. It will take the same level of compassion and commitment you've shown throughout your senior year, and much, much more. It will require your active participation, your leadership, and your voice. And speaking of voice, you probably heard enough of mine, so I'll make this announcement that you've all been waiting patiently for. Ms. Bailey, it is with the greatest pleasure and pride that I accept this class for graduation upon the recommendation of the faculty and administration of Lakeview Centennial High School, as well as the Garland Independent School District Board of Trustees, which I represent here today. Congratulations on your remarkable achievement. I can't wait to see what you will accomplish in these years ahead. So without further ado, by the power vested in me by the state of Texas, the State Board of Education, the Texas Education Agency, and the Board of Trustees of the Garland Independent School District, I now declare each student who will be receiving a diploma to be a graduate of Garland ISD. You are now graduates of Lakeview Centennial High School. Please move your tassels to the left.
Class of 2021, please prepare to receive your diplomas. I would like to remind everyone that every parent deserves to hear their child's name called. If you want to clap or cheer for your graduate, do so, but stop quickly to allow the next graduate's name to be called. Please allow the ceremony to be a positive event for all the graduates.
Anthony Tron, a top 10 graduate. Alex Fu Pham, a top 10 graduate. Abibatu Patricia Karoma. Abigail Daleen Martins. Stephen Rodriguez. Adedolapo Eunice Adewumi. Brittany Jasmine Alejandra Martinez. Jackson Andrews. Andre Jaden Arnold. Leslie Elizabeth Arredondo. Alista Christina Villarroso Atos. Debin Baby Cootie. Camaria Abdukader Brasso. Tavarius Davion Ballard. Kiara Beltran Tapia. Mariela Bermeo Esquivel. Marissa Renee Berry. Brian Pappy Bijou. Landon Dominique Blakely. Jesus Armando Boteo. Bryce Logan Brockman. Dream Yasmina Caraway. Carly Elizabeth Cavanis. Joycelyn Melissa Chicas. Quincy Harp Colvin. Marilyn Maylene Corona. Ian Daniel Dacus. Max Hunter Dacus. Ariana Marrero Daniel. Jalen Tynane Davis. Skylar Paige Davis. Terrence Orlando Davis Jr. Daisy Amor Del Rio. Dwin T. Me Doe. Kaylee Ann Dowell. Madeline Presley Dunnigan. Induboise Chinechirium Echafu. Jacob Esparza. Andres Espino. Martha Evelyn Fuentes. Maximilian Arthur Fuentes. Jalen Sine Furlow. Andrew Armando Garcia, Jr. Anthony Garcia. Catherine Garcia. Samantha Nicole Garcia. Tinsei Gebramidin. Sharon Jin Gerzim. Imba Victory Gamba. Abigail Gonzalez. Dalen D'Angelo Green. Megan Taylor Ganaw. Nyla Michelle Harmon. Taylor Renee Harris. Karina Irene Hernandez. Eric Esteban Hernandez. Bryson Jordan Hill. Reese Marie Hinosa. Sarah Michelle Holder. Amy Michelle Nguyen, a top 10 graduate. Alondra Harmio. Jerry Monique Jenkins. Caitlin Nicole Johnson. Eden Elise Jones. Abrielle Elizabeth Just. William Ahmad Kamara. Savannah Veronica Key. Saul Leja. Sarah Jane Lisenby. Taylor Ray Lisenby. Mark Lorenz Lumanlin. Carlos Alexander Maceda. Eric Wegman Manuel Jr. Alyssa Gabrielle Martinez. Venicia Martinez. Sean Andrea Bernardo Mas. Trinity Christine Massengale. Amber Lisbeth Miranda. John Anthony Monagold Jr. Emily Sophia Moreno, a top 10 graduate. Cassidy Brianna Morones. Emily Navarro. Brian Tung Nguyen, a top 10 graduate. Joseph Decina Nguyen. Sally Nguyen. Aniabong Efigong Nkanga. Oluwafaremi Ogunewa. David Chanasa Okonkwo. Ideli Itzel Oliveras. Christian David Orosio. Ezra Dotson Oditade. Cheyenne Jacqueline Paul. Catherine Lisbeth Perez. Isai Pineda. Joshua Michael Porras. Bailey Hannah Powell. Yareli Ramirez. Ashley Marie Ramos. Kiara Samaya Raouf. Emily Rose Regolato. Erin Angela Ann Richardson. Angelica Lee Rios. Angelina Nicole Rivera. Areli Sarahi Rivera. Brianna Nicole Robinson. Daniela Rodriguez. Jesus Albano Rodriguez. Shaylee Paige Brooks. Emily America Ruiz, a top 10 graduate. Elizabeth Denise Russian. Gifty Saji, a top 10 graduate. Josie Eolani Salazar. Elsabeth Saron Samuel, a top 10 graduate. Christian Kid Santos. Asia Alexandria Scott. Diamond Devon Shonua. Alicia Nicole Sims. Alicia Danielle Smith. Alyssa Michelle Steele. Paul Anthony Tabayi. James Luther Talbert IV. Kylie Rose Texta. Jeremy Joseph Titus. Roselle Marie Tombo. Alex Sun Tran. Amy T. Tran, a top 10 graduate. Adrian Locke Tran. Travis Trung. Emerson Suzanne Arutilla. Nicholas Alexander Valero. Sophia Isabel Velasquez. Alan Martin Velasco. Deshaun Andre West. Jordan Michael Wilson. Michael Joseph Wisdom. Juliana Zuniga Castro. Alyssa Lorraine Crosley. Kayla Paige Esquivel. Victoria Kathleen Maldonado. Kyla Lene Riley. Haley Elizabeth Gunaway. Michelle Adeja Aguilar. Neza Elizar Aguilar. Sesson Tiki Alem. Hayden Gage Allen. Elaine Arguello. Griselda Zamora Arredondo Ramirez. Alfred John Galito Arborque. Maribel Brahimo Esquivel. Yasmin Bro. Morgan Quinn Carmen. Salima Carrillo. Eric Alberto Casanova. Kevin Echegaruga Roca. Melissa Estrada. Kareem Guyona Vargas. Jonathan Garcia. Adrian Lynn Googler. Geralde Hernandez. Chindalu Erica Naomi Ibakuku. Alexis Makana Milane Capolino. James Vu Lee. Shannon Eleanor Lines. Angela Martinez Swanson. Karen Jamila Mira Lopez. Elise Andrea Mitchell. Brandy Nino. Islamia Toluwache Moyo Odunaya. Amy Denise Ramirez. Riley Jane Reed. Paxton James Ryland. Kayla Rubacava. James Salgado. Adam Brian Torito. Jordan Ryan Hunter Votang. Sarah Nicole Cully. Madeline Grace Gothard. Connor Benson O'Brien. Chanley Madison Thomas. Aubrianne Nicole Williams. Faber Abisola Abraham. Noah Vishrip Abraham. Kaylee Brooklyn Abrego. Norberto Alexander Acosta Lopez. Angel David Agreda. Alvaro Nicholas Aguilar. Alex Martin Aldana Monito. Sarah Salman Al-Dulaimi. Aju Alexander. Emily Esmeralda Alfaro. Courtney Elise Allen. Ramiro Almara. Aiden Aurelio Alonso. Anton Luis Zamora Alvarado. Abigail Alvarado. Casey Ryan Alvarez. Aldo Alvarez Aguilar. Cassandra Amaya. Leandro Uriel Anderson. Sherry Anayan. Ashton Ositandima Anuoke. Raylan Rose Augusta. Nadia Guadalupe Aviles Torres. Jose Antonio Baez Cesari. Cameron Isaiah Robino Baird. Sanaya Yvonne Baker. Sierra Janae Baker. Ronald Alexis Barahona Ruiz. Maria Guadalupe Becerra. Jedediah Michael Beck. John Michael Benitez. Michaela Anquinette Benson. Sergio Vaquera Bernal. Jaden Berryhill Marino. Evelyn Sitlali Blanco. William Jonathan Bonillo. Gabriel Aiden Bossert. Brianna Marie Boteo. Catherine Pena Bulum. Katydric Deshawn Branch. Jaden Rashad Bridges. Jonathan Delano Brown. Destiny Camille Browning. Cody Austin Bruce. Sarah Lynn Renee Bruce. Taylor Leona Buford. Dantrell Alexander Bundret Sloan. Tiari LaShawn Birch. Logan Powers Bush. Abdul Rahim Bassam Saeed Bataina. Gabriel Anthony Butts. Nicholas Rodney Calais. Jason Stephen Campos. Lauren Raquel Campos. Madeline Cantu. Daniela Betsabe Cardenas. Alicia Becky Cardoza. Pedro Giovanni Carrillo. Ethan Christopher Carter. Christopher Isaac Castillo. Jared Castillo. Jocelyn Mariah Castillo. Samuel Cervantes. Victor Alexander Cervantes Mendoza. Clayton Cash Cheney. Jason Chapetla Sanchez. Naya Louise Chin. Faith Osilla Chujor. Caleb Michael Donovan Berkeley. Cameron Edward Cleveland. Essie Corrine Colson. Claire Ann Connolly. Karen Lamar Cook. Christopher Lamont Cooper. Justice Aaron Coos. Stephanie Alexandra Correa. Zachary Eugene Coates. Trinity Autumn Kreider. Linda Jacqueline Cruz. Trevor LeVar Curry. Octavia Renee Davis. Abigail Deanda. Gabrielle Jimena Diaz. Ian Diaz. Isaiah David Diaz. Wilder Giovanni Diaz. Diana Michelle Diaz Perla. Braylon Rashawn Dillard. Michaela Rashay Dixon. Christopher Michael Dominguez. Jennifer Duque. Ron Marcel Durgan II. Trinity Cyrene Elliott. Jalen Deshawn Ellis. Layla Sky Nyla Felton. Nita Arlene Figueroa. Kevin Figueroa Medina. Bianca Isabel Flores. Stephanie Esperanza Flores. Pablo Daniel Flores Gonzalez. Yvette Noemi Flores Ventura. Ketlicia Siobhan Fowler. Natalie Araceli Fraga. Tyrick Rashawn Francis. Dalton Blake French.
Macy Paige Gabaldon. Tyler James Gaffney. Francisco Giovanni Gallardo. Juan Carlos Galvan Jr. Litsi Galvan. Daniel Gaiona Perez. Diego Garcia. Yasmin Denise Garcia. Jorge Garcia Jr. Marcos Esteban Garcias. Sebastian Garcias. Susana Maria Garcia. Victor Eduardo Garcia Cano. Sarai Garcia Ponce. Letitia Chantel Gartner. Katrina Leanne Garza. Alexis Renee Guy. Sarah Elizabeth Gomez. Avery Madison Gonzalez. Berania Gonzalez. Astrid Pamela Gonzalez Garcia. Davion Dapri Gordon Taplett. Zachary Daniel Gortat. Vic Damon Griffin. Daniel Grimaldi. Araceli Guerrero. Yulissa Guerrero. Hannah Grace Gully. Kevin Hale. Jamarian Serkis Sanders Hall. Kelvion Deshaun Hall. Marquise Lee Hankins II. Talia Janae Harris. Tyriona Dejanay Harris. Michael Heath Hart. Aaliyah Amaya Hawkins. LaShayla Denise Haynes. Danielle Ramon Henderson. Tamaria Alexander Hendricks. David Hernandez. Diego Eduardo Hernandez. Jelena Lowaine Mashawn Hernandez. Lorenzo Ivan Hernandez. Michael Angelo Hernandez. Tenadria Quene Herndon. Brianna Selena Herrera. Michael J. Herrero. Rebecca Elizabeth Hill. Madeline Ann Hillingworth. Larry MacArthur Hodges. Briariana Kaysen Marie Horton. Lakeisha Marie Houston. Shamara Janice Nicole Howard. Zar Nitu. Koi Wayne Hudson. Brian Kanisiokuchu Ibeka. Robert Iguanzo Jr. Ada Elizabeth Interiano Alvarado. Ikechuku Stanislao Inguna Jr. Francisco Javier Yaquez Hurtado. Ramon Shamar Jeffrey. Trinity Divine Jenkins. Alexander Jimenez. Clement John. Jaden Deshaun Johnson. Jordan Xavier Johnson. Caleb Deshaun Jones. Cameron Daquan Jones. Justin Isaiah Jones. Terriel Maeria Jones. Tierra Lynn Jones. Lizeth Juarez. Tanaya Quintrell Key. Sam Renjin Kochukunyu. Leah Renee Kopp. Angelica Renee Lamb. Kaylin Rose Lee. Nestor Leon. Gerbeth Xavier Linares. Rudy Cheyenne Linares Caballero. Emma Madeline Logan. Kwame Khalil Long. Estevan Lopez. Lexi Francesca Lopez. Yahir Fernando Lopez Guargorena. Dylan Scott Lyon. Robert Ray Lyon. Leilani Maldonado. Daniela Maldonado Aviles. Michaela Tennille Malone. Bailey Dacole Malvo. Jesus Abraham Manduano. Amir Ramon Mason. Sona Sarah Matthew. Brandisha Ashanti Arnell Mayberry. Shakira Latrice Mitchell McAdory. Fernando Medina. Rogelio Alejandro Medina Jr. Jennifer Anay Maya Calderon. Juan Andres Mayas. Edlarwit Lekyu Meklaku. Kadist Lakyu Melaku. Francisco Javier Mena. Ziomara Patricia Mendoza. Kelly Del Carmen Mendoza Estevez. Dominic Abdu Miles. Bria Nicole Mitchell. Sterling Grant Mobius. Damian Daniel Molina. Jorge Jacob Mondragon. Miguel Angel Mondragon. Natalie Morales. DeAngelo Merced Morales Albiter. Anthony Alexis Moreno. John Carlos Moreno. Josiah Douglas Mulima. Marcus Edward Muniz. Christian Munoz. Jessica Michelle Natividad Marentes. Karen Nailea Navarro. Victoria Kylie Necochea. Tania Monet Nelson. V.T. Tuong Nguyen. Joshua Ebubechuku Nwosu. Mauricio Le Ortega. Yadira Anaí Pará. Jason Arnolfo Pasillas. Bania Patlan. Caleb Houston Payton. Daniela Juliana Perdoza. Carla Denise Pena Jaimes. Amy Nicole Perez. Santiago Theodore Perez Jr. Matthew Gregory Allen Perry. Brandon Lee Feen. Mackenzie Taylor Phillips. Lyric Alasia Pondexter. Jonathan Carlos Portillo. Jacaria Tashay Pridgett. Carlos Denise Quintilla Cruz. Angela Viviana Ramirez. Evelyn Elizabeth Ramirez. Francisco Javier Ramirez. Mariana Ramirez Cardoza. Alexandra Ramirez Quiones. Dakota Ryan Ramon. Valeria Pilar Ramos. Marvin David Ramos Rodriguez. Margarita Anastasia Rangel. Ali Rayo Jr. Michael Ali Rayo. Jose Manuel Regalado. Jose Julian Resendez Ariola. Sarah Abigail Reyes. Natalie Renee Rials. Samaya Renee Brooke Richardson. Benjamin Isaiah Rincon. Jose Enrique Rivera. Leslie Rivera. Gabriel Josue Rivera Nieves. Cheyenne Nicole Robertson. Jory Simon Robertson. Kevin Antoine Robertson. Demaje Deshawn Robinson. Maya Simone Robinson. Jose Rodolfo Rodriguez. Perla Nicole Rodriguez. Victoria Rodriguez. Mariana Rodriguez Rodriguez. Tonerical Monet Rogers. Yesenia Monique Romero. Marlene Rock. Yadira Alexa Rosales. Edwin Ramiro Rosario Dena. Marta Alicia Rosette. Jonathan Moses Ruiz. Stephanie Rubalcaba. Matthew Taylor Sains. Alma Janet Salas. Brianna Yasmin Salazar. Vianney Salazar. Eric Salinas. Andrew Sanchez. Keyshawn Michael Scott. Kendall Grace Scott. Deja Latrice Scroggins. Kiamani Michael Shane. Jalea Ariel Sharp. Misael Sierra Guerrero. Giovanna Silva Castro. Ricky Daniel Smallwood. Amaya Yvette Smith. Victoria Ann Smith. Ulissa Sierra Solis. Giovanni Soto. Charlisha Sequoia Spencer. Anaya Janae Spriggins. Caitlin Nicole Stevens. Amaya Lynn Stewart. Alan Bernard Stambler III. Isaac Suarez. Dotorius Tormay Tarver Jr. Ayana Marie Taylor. William Gregory Taylor. Alexandria Denise Terry. Sir Gay Thao. Charles William Thomas. Daniel Jerome Thomas. Deontay Karen Thompson. Zarias Mikal Thompson. Lady Yazirit Turbucio Robles. Lisbeth Tobias. Samantha Yena Torres. Jasmine Torres Cordero. Joshua Darius Townsend. Brian Jason Tucker Jr. Itzel Tool. Isaac Daniel Tuburbiartes. Amaya Simone Upshaw. Damian Guadalupe Valenzuela. Elvis Francisco Valle. Gerardo Manuel Vallejo. Jessica Dana Vasquez. Blanca Estea Vergara. Daniel Vigil. Charles Bruce Wade. Amaya Dajion Wade Jones. Keith Earl Walker Jr. Sabrilla Mackenzie Walker. Sharonisha Marie Walker. Vanessa Maria Waller. Jalen Trayvon Walls. Raikeelan Jarson Ike Warsaw. Kenya Lynette Washington. Serenity Ariel Washington. Branson Lane Wasson. Kayla Kyra Watson. Kamar Arthur Wheaton. Justin Shamichael White. Recall Sherry White. Andrea Lamille Whitlock. Kaylee Leanne Weir. Alexis Deanne Williams. Dustin Ray Williams. Eugene Wines. Erin Nicole Woods. Karis Eloise Ruth Wortham. Kayla Nicole Wortham. Alicia Denise Wright. Keegan Dalton Wright. Joseph Cruz Yanes Jr. Guadalupe Zavala. Victor Manuel Zavala Guerrero. Litsi Giselle Zertuche. Reyes Jose Zuniga. Additional graduates for the class of 2021. Jennifer Nunez Gonzalez. Sanaya Mary Matthew. Catherine Rengel. Jennifer Alondra Aceves. Victor Adolfo Arunata Teagui. Ala Ane Elgo Are. Marisol Gomez. Jashayla Ann Rochelle Harper. Kiana Nicole Harrison. Daniel Hernandez. Joshua Clark Howarth. Jasmine Sitlali Ibarra. Jennifer Dawn Jackson. Amari Jaden Jones. Angel Maureen Kearney. Grace Chinyun Leopold George. Kaylin Ashlyn Lloyd. Anthony Clay Lopez. Jeremy Joe Maddox. Christian Michael Medellin. Anthony Anselmo Mendoza. Marcos Valdemar Molina Perez. Valerie Marie Montoya. Alex Duong Nguyen. Yan Obergon. Arun Fa. Yeslin Ismara Pineda Hernandez. Jafari Richard Powell. Caleb Leon Reed. Kevin Reyes Martinez. Joanna Sanchez Berstein, Tydrick Deshaun Sanders, Jordan Kishan Smith, Jacqueline Lee Spence, Orlando Angel Torres II, Skyla Elise Westbrook, and Glenn Tyler Winfrey II.
I would like to take this opportunity to recognize several individuals and groups. First, I would like to thank our area director, Mr. Ray Merrill, as well as acknowledge the Lakeview faculty and staff in attendance here this evening. Would our senior class sponsors, Erica Berry Gondron and Essence Jones, please stand? At this time, would our graduating young men and women who have already enlisted in any branch of the armed forces please stand to be recognized? Would all active duty personnel and veterans in the audience please join them by standing? Thank you all for your service. At this time, would everyone please rise as Trinity Massengale and Emily Ruiz, our Lakeview Centennial Choir President and Vice President, close this ceremony by leading us in the singing of our alma mater. Seniors, you may throw your caps.